morning. Uh, so today we have two people on the call. Ms. Rubina, who's a social entrepreneur and leading efforts of SAFA on food security among the in the COVID crisis, uh, and Dr. Ravi Chandra, who will be joining us a little later on the call. So both of them have been at the center of uh, managing the food as well as the economic entitlement crisis from different angles. Rubina ji has been leading the CSO response in 5 cities and in partnership with Youth Feed India has been able to work largely with the marginalized sections of society. So very warm welcome, Rubina ji. Without much ado, I would request you to share details about this program that you've been leading, the opportunities that you see. Uh, Very quickly, uh, we have partner entrepreneurs. Uh, we have some guests that we've invited on the call today. And just for some hygiene factors, we can leave the questions for last 15 minutes of the call for both the speakers on the chat, and I and Anjan will be taking them and posing them to the guests. So, Rubina ji, floor is yours.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and namaskar to everyone. Thanks, Nainish, for inviting me for this, and I'll see if I can do justice to this time which has been given to me. So basically, as Nainish has said, that I've been running a social organization, an NGO called SAFA, working on livelihoods and education since the past 11 years in Telangana state, mainly in Hyderabad area, where we are looking at livelihoods and education for the marginalized. In particular, we are looking at the marginalized and the minority community, which is of the Muslims. And it's been a up and down kind of a journey for us, but we have done quite a few innovative interventions here in Hyderabad, which seem to have worked out, especially on the lines of social enterprises. So we have a manufacturing floor, which has been set up for illiterate, semi-literate women. We have a community kitchen, which is running now. So in the wake of COVID, what started, I will just take you quickly through the journey that we went through and what has been our response system over here. So one day before the lockdown, we were actually a bit proactive in this entire thing. मतलब हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि अभी ये lockdown चालू होने वाला है. It has happened in a few countries. It could take on different proportions, and we need to be a bit prepared for it. Especially so since because we have been working, मतलब slums में हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, तो वहाँ पे सारे लोग, ज़्यादातर लोग जो हैं वो डेली वेजर्स हैं. तो हमको पता है कि मतलब एक दिन भी अगर उनकी डेली वेज उनकी रुक जाए तो उन पे क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. At the same time, Hyderabad is a growing city in terms of infrastructure, in terms of everything. It's a growing city, and we also see city जो हमारा horizontally फैला है यहाँ पर, और यहाँ पर migrant population कितना है. So we had a fair idea of this. We had a fair idea of the challenges of this kind of community. तो हम लोगों ने थोड़ा सा क्विक रेस्पॉन्स किया कि वी प्लान्ड दैट we would start initially, we would start a food drive from the time the lockdown began, and we knew कि ये लंबी जर्नी रहने वाली है. तो one day before we started a campaign called Youth Feed India. So we got in touch with a couple of youngsters जो यहाँ पे they are a bit influential in terms of having the right money, right capital, basically moneyed people. And there were restaurateurs in that, restaurant owners in that, there were one or two lawyers in that. But it was a small network of 4 to 5 people who were based in Hyderabad, of course, was the main group. Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, this way. So we just got around together and we thought we should start a fundraising campaign. And also at the same time, we actually finalized a pack कि लोगों को ज़रूरत किस चीज़ की पड़ेगी. Cooked food तो हाँ ठीक है, but they would need a ration pack. The moment their salaries, the moment their wages stop, they would need some kind of a ration for their hunger. So we started off on this drive, and day one of the lockdown, we started collecting money. It was a crowd-funded campaign. It was all on Keto. It's an online portal. Most of you must be knowing कि ये portal है, ये crowdfunding करता है. So we started with a small thing कि भाई 2000 हम ration packs दे दें तो हमको काफी होगा, और या maybe it might run, it might not run. So we put it in place, and it started off. It's doing very well. We are in our 4th week right now. We have raised about 3 crore as of yesterday. And also at the same time, we have fed, I will not even talk about the 3 crore because for us it doesn't really matter, but we have reached out to nearly 51,000 through 51,000 ration packs, which translate to, एक ration pack is for a family of 5. So times 5 कर दीजिए आप, उतना हम लोगों ने ration लोगों तक पहुंचाया है. And it is across, what is a bit different about it is across different cities. So we have reached out to 6 cities currently, all metros, wherever there is a migrant population. So our target group mainly has been the migrant population and the daily wagers. And how we managed to do this across multiple cities is what Nainish has asked me to focus on. We have created, I'm basically, and even my team members are in good networks of NGOs. And we have done it in a very collaborative model in which we have just got in touch with NGOs who are active on the ground. मतलब community outreach उनकी ज़्यादा है, and plus they are connected to communities, similar communities of migrant population and daily wagers population. So in this we connected to NGOs across different cities. We validated them. छोटी सी एक process रखी कि form भरना है, फिर एक phone call से उनका validation हुआ. One of my team members did a complete validation, whether they have a website, genuine, not genuine, political affiliations हैं या नहीं है. This was a main criteria for us also, because the moment we started doing a distribution drive, तो इसमें पहले तो हमारे respectable politicians आ गए कि we will stand and we will do the distribution. So we were very clear that we don't want any political or religious overtones to this entire thing. And the focus was that people should be getting that ration in their homes. They should not sleep hungry on that particular day. So the NGOs were validated. After the NGOs have been validated, we just empaneled them. Very short process. We did not keep long processes. And the main job of the NGOs was distribution. We were very clear about it. Another thing along with this is the virus, this pandemic which has started, there were strict compliances in terms of how the distribution has to be done. So it is not just any other calamity or any other disaster. It could not be treated like floods ka relief hai ya earthquake ka relief hai. So yahan par what held us back, what has been our major challenge, continues to remain our major challenge is कि हम लोग वो जो distancing, social distancing का जो problem है distribution में या packaging of food में, how do we maintain that? So what we did was we got in touch with Apollo Hospital and we said, how is it that the people who are distributing on ground, how can they be, first of all, protection of our teams who are on the ground? कि उनको कहीं से they should not be vulnerable या exposed to the virus. So PPE suits were not available when we started. I mean, only even hospitals to date they don't have them. पर सूट्स नहीं थे तो फिर अपोलो के हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल्स ने हमको एक तरीका बताया कि हाउ पीपल कैन प्रोटेक्ट देमसेल्व्स व्हेन दे आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग. सो वी क्रिएटेड अ वीडियो ऑफ इट व्हिच वेंट वायरल कि बेसिकली घर पे हम लोग कैसे कर सकते हैं. सॉक्स पहनना है, ग्लव्स पहनना है, टेपिंग करना है आर्म्स पे, लेग्स के पास टेपिंग करना है, यहाँ पर टेप करना है कैप के पास. So all these things were put out in a video which went viral again. And this was basically the protection measures that we had put down. Then we created a kind of a video instructional tool for people who are into distribution, which is our NGO partners, on what is to be done, step 1, step 2, step 3. So we created this instructional tool, which was given to all our NGO partners, and we made sure that they said that they will be complying with it. तो उस पे sign किया उन्होंने कि वो लोग compliances hold करेंगे. This was a major concern to us, and ये compliances का जो हमने जो हिस्सा बनाया ये काफ़ी ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि otherwise people are exposed to the entire thing. I mean, we all know. अभी हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि लोग क्यूज में ठहरे हैं, करीब करीब ठहरे हैं, तो फिर वो सर्कल बनाने का फिर वो सिस्टम चालू हुआ कहीं चेन्नई पे. सो वी इमीडिएटली वी कॉपी पेस्टेड दैट मॉडल के उसको यूज करेंगे. टू डेट वी आर डूइंग द सेम थिंग. In terms of collaboration with NGOs, what we did was they were just our distribution partners. हमने उनके ऊपर रिलीफ पैक मटेरियल खरीदने का उन पे वो बर्डन नहीं डाला. What we did was we had one SPOC identified who was not an NGO individual, but he was a well-meaning individual कि भाई हाँ मैं ये काम में इन्वॉल्व होना चाह रहा हूँ, हाँ मेरे थोड़े से कनेक्ट्स और नेटवर्क्स हैं सिटी में, and I can be doing this, you know, without any remuneration या मेरे को इसका payment नहीं चाहिए, it is just my intention of doing good. So we had those kind of people in the cities, all the cities that we worked in. तो उनके साथ हमने डील सेटअप की कि आप बेस्ट रेट्स लेके आइए राशन किट्स के लिए, और देन वी वेटेड देम. Payments were made centrally from Safa in Hyderabad. All the payments were made directly to the vendors. So we eliminated one part of the supply chain, which is paying to the NGOs paying to the vendors, to the suppliers. So we eliminated that part of it. तो हमारा जो turnaround time था वो बहुत छोटा हो गया. It was like extremely small. Within a day, once हमको पता चला कि दिल्ली में 2000 पैक्स की ज़रूरत है, so all we had to do was the trader, मतलब जो wholesaler हमको बेच रहा था, वो bills बना देता है, and it is sent to our central finance team over here in Hyderabad. We make the payments within 24 hours, और वहाँ पर delivery वो तो usually he was giving on the same day, and the distribution is done. If it is packed material, the distribution is done on the same day, or it is done on the next day. So this is how we went about this entire process. यहाँ पे what I told you, the challenges that we saw were basically in maintaining the safety protocol, which was truck अगर एक बार हमारी जाती है तो it was basically a lot of people collecting at that point. तो इसको हमने eliminate, मतलब पहले 2-3 दिन it was a major challenge for us. In fact, my team they went with material in a big 3-ton 4-ton की ट्रक में जाते थे, मटेरियल लेके जा रहे हैं 800 पैक्स, 800 राशन पैक, पर वहाँ पर डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करके आ रहे हैं सिर्फ 150. The reason being that people were crowding around the truck. There was small, like a kind of a riot situation. मतलब इतनी भगदड़ मचती है खाने के ऊपर कि it was becoming a bit dangerous for us. So we just left it at that. So we devised another way. What we did was each area that we were going to, हमको पहले से पता होता है कि हमारे पास लिस्ट आती है कि यहाँ पर ज़रूरत है, यहाँ पे migrant population है, यहाँ पे migrant labor है. So we have been collaborating with government agencies on this, and we usually know, we always know कि हमारी ट्रक की बीट क्या होने वाली है, where is it going to go today. जैसे आज सुबह हमको ऑलरेडी 11 स्लॉट्स आ गए हैं कि यहाँ पर राशन की ज़रूरत है. So we contact the person who has called us for the ration supply. We tell him that half an hour before, please make sure people are standing in a queue. And the way we have defined it, we send them pictures for that. We have been using basically technology to our advantage. So we send them pictures of how we want people to be stationed, कैसे खड़े रहना है उनको, और जब भी हमारी ट्रक जाती है. And when the truck is like 5 minutes away, एक बार उनको कॉल करते हैं कि सब लोग हैं वहाँ पे, जैसे हम चाह रहे हैं वैसे ठहरे हुए हैं. Only then the food is distributed. Another thing we did for this, ये safety compliances के लिए, is that one SPOC for each basti we have taken up, 2 SPOCs or 1 SPOC, and we give the ration to him or her, and then they distribute it by dropping it at their doorsteps. मतलब उनके दरवाजे पे ले जाके उनको देते हैं. So these are 2 methods that we've been using. So far, it's proved very effective for us. The problem is very big. I think India as a country, even Telangana for that matter, our state was not prepared for it. They're still not prepared for it. Government machinery is extremely slow. But one thing good that the government in Telangana has done is that they have been collaborating with NGOs a bit. So in fact, they invited us for a couple of meetings. What all can you do? But it's a bit surprising over here that matlab, government seems dependent on CSOs. And in fact, last week I attended a meeting with the municipal commissioner, and he was asking each one of us कि आप कितना दे सकते हो, आप कितना दे सकते हो, आप कितना दे सकते हो, मतलब राशन हम कितना दे सकते हैं. So they are depending on us, which is like very sad. पता नहीं कहाँ पर जाने वाला है ये situation. I hope it gets better soon, inshallah. And there has been a lot of collaborative activity in this entire effort that we have done. In fact, people have been coming forward, not just NGOs, but government agencies. One very effective collaboration that I would like to talk about here is that India Post, which is a central government organization, India Post came to us and they said that we can give you our trucks. At that point, we were having big problem with trucks, food trucks, and also getting the passes for, because the entire city is on lockdown. So trucks के लिए passes के लिए India Post came forward and they have big trucks. Believe me, आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कि बड़े trucks होते हैं उनके. तो हमारा तकरीबन 1200 पैक्स राशन उसमें जा सकता है. So they came forward और उन्होंने कहा कि आप हमारे ट्रक्स यूज करिए. दूसरी चीज, आप हमको वेयर हाउसेस का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था उस टाइम पे कि मतलब उतनी बड़ी स्टोरेज स्पेस फॉर कीपिंग दैट मच ऑफ राशन. सो दे सेड यू कैन यूज आवर पोस्ट ऑफिसेस विच आर सो स्ट्रेटेजिकली लोकेटेड. मतलब हर बस्ती में आपको छोटे या बड़े पोस्ट ऑफिसेस मिलेंगे. तो पोस्ट ऑफिसेस हमने यूज किए, 2 पोस्ट ऑफिसेस हमने यहाँ पे यूज किए. Trucks, the spaces, and number 3, their team for packing, because they, if you notice, they are the teams that the post offices have. They're very good in sorting. और मतलब पोस्ट के हिसाब से उनकी ट्रेनिंग, उनकी मेंटालिटी वैसे ही है कि सॉर्ट करना है, पैक करना है, बंडल्स बनाना है. So we have effectively used their teams. They are generally outsourced teams, but we have used the teams also for packing. Before distribution, we have packing. So we have used that effectively for packing. So this is my little bit of हमारी जो learnings ground पे हुई है. काम चल रहा है हमारा. Nainish, if I have forgotten something, you can please ask me to fill in.
No, Rubina, I think yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, that I think that was quite an elaborative discussion. But but can you share, Rubina, that in terms of reaching out, to different cities, what are the current challenges you are seeing? Are you planning to expand to other cities? Also, with the new containment strategies coming in, how are you bracing for challenges of reaching out? Because this is going to get a little tougher, especially in hotspot areas. I mean, we are hearing a lot of challenges that people are facing in Maharashtra. So with respect to this, are you also planning to looking at those regions? And yeah.
So we have reached out to the major cities because we had connects over here. We had NGO partners. I mean, basically offhand, we knew of the work of a couple of NGOs. So we had bigger partnerships in terms of Delhi and Bangalore. We have basically taken up CRY. So CRY हमारे partner रहे हैं distribution के लिए. So when I'm talking of partnerships, it's only distributive partnerships that we have taken over. So it is a completely crowd-funded model that we have. So everything depends on funds which are coming in, and funds जब आ रहे हैं अच्छी तरीके से. crowdfunding का model ऐसे होता है कि इमीडिएटली जब आप क्राउड फंडिंग डालते हो तो आपका ग्राफ ऐसे जाता है ऊपर, उसके बाद आहिस्ता आहिस्ता थोड़ा थोड़ा नीचे आता है, फिर स्टेबलाइज होता है, and then it comes down only unless we really put in our efforts in the 4th and 5th week. हम लोग उस पर पैसा खर्चा करेंगे और ऊपर जाए ग्राफ. So we've been having a few challenges because our graph on crowdfunding has come down a bit. It is dipping continuously. It has been dipping. So agar funds available hai local, like I think most of you are from across India, which is like brilliant. But if you're able to generate funds and probably become campaigners for this entire thing, then we can actually take this forward to smaller cities also. But one thing I've noticed is the smaller cities do not have this big challenge of migrant labor. Right now, the focus coming is because the government has started taking care of, at least in Telangana, I have seen that the government has started taking care of the migrant labor also. Matlab, the PDS points have been opened up. There is 12 kgs of rice which is being given. But along with that, I feel now, along with the rice, what next? Cooked food, there was a huge requirement before. For the cooked food, again, the requirement has come down totally. People are preferring कि आप हमको अब जैसे South में है कि we eat a lot of rice in the South. So the government accordingly has given rice packages. But now we have people from Jharkhand, from UP who are telling us that आटा चाहिए हमको, और यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट ने डाला है कि गेहूं दे रहे हैं, wheat दे रहे हैं, तो वो पिसाएंगे कहाँ पे? I mean, these are ground challenges which I feel the state is responsible for these. So they are not opening up the atta chakkis. So what is the use of that gehu which has come? So these are challenges on the ground. In terms of reaching out to the smaller cities, we haven't gotten many requests from smaller cities because I think the problem is less complex over there. The major cities are where these huge populations of migrant labor are there and suffering currently. Also, the requirement, number one requirement is healthy nutritional diet. They cannot be surviving on rice all the time. Rice ke saath milega kya unko? Even we have Akshay Patra, which is serving the Annapurna canteens. Yeah, Annapurna canteens have been set up across state. It's on the model of Anna, I think, where Jayalalitha had started in Tamil Nadu. ₹5 meals. So those meals, ₹5 meals are now cancelled and they are zero cost pe meals distribute ho rahe hain. Lunches and dinners are being distributed. This is the government intervention I'm talking about. But the need for these canteens has dipped because there are only 180 canteens set up in Hyderabad, or they are small pockets of migrant laborers across the city. I mean, across kilometers, thousands of kilometers. So it is not really working out. So ration is the current requirement of people over here. Another thing is migrant population more or less 1500 rupees government से आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आना शुरू हुए हैं. State government is giving 500 rupees. That is also fine. Ration shops is a different thing. I will not even get into it. उसकी पे तो हम लोग एक पूरा research paper तैयार कर सकते हैं. पर डेली वेजेस के बड़े चैलेंजेस अभी उठ रहे हैं क्योंकि उनके पास जो कुछ भी थोड़ी बहुत पैसे थे उनके पास, मतलब हमारा जो वेंडर है, स्ट्रीट वेंडर्स हैं, उनके प्रॉब्लम्स उठ रहे हैं. ऑटो रिक्शा ड्राइवर्स, transgender population which used to survive on begging, rag pickers, all these people, these are major problem areas which are coming up now. And we need to be looking at some kind of either a livelihood intervention or at least give them that much of money. So we have an advocacy group also over here in Telangana, and which has been pressurizing the government to give them at least 5 to 8,000 rupees, just give them off as a direct cash benefit transfer. Post COVID, we have started making programs. If and when the lockdown lifts, तो ये जो मतलब एकदम poorest of the poor हैं, उनके challenges क्या रहने वाले हैं, उसके लिए हमने already planning चालू कर दी है. We have been applying for funds for that. So there's a different kind of set of challenges which people will face, especially the daily wagers wants to get back to their routine. Rural areas, we don't work in rural areas much, but I mean rural areas के तो बहुत ही बड़े challenges होंगे. और so let's see how it goes, Nainish. This is what I can talk about it. So
So Rubina ji, thank you. There are few questions before Ravi has joined. So we have 5 minutes. We'll take a couple of questions which have come on the chat.
Yeah.
Uh, so there's a question from Tapas, who's based out of Mumbai. And he's asked that how can we select and onboard local community champions and what could be their management strategy? Uh, I think he's referring to probably more such community champions that you've been able to tap, for food ration procurement and delivery. And also Mayur from Hyderabad, uh, who's a fellow colleague, has written that is there while there is a process of identifying CSOs who can supply food, but how are you capturing demand? How is that coming to you? And also, uh, is there some plan for cash infusion, like you said, in terms of payment in Jandan, or how are you looking at supporting families? Is there some plan or your thoughts on this?
Okay, I think Tapas has asked how to select onboard local community champions, connect, what is the management strategy? So in this, Tapas, what we need to be looking at is local community champions. So you need to have community presence. So if you have worked in a particular area and you would know, matlab, if you go into a basti, you would know exactly who are the small time leaders over here, who are the ones who are the spokesperson for the community. So those are the people who will come up actually. And you need to be working in that area. If you're not working in that area, then you have to get in touch with, usually I have seen influencers in the community, religious leaders, number one. Religious leaders are big influencers in the community. Get in touch with the local, church which is there, or a temple which is there, or a masjid which is there, and ask them how they can actually be contributing towards it without any. So these people will come in without any kind of कि भाई हमको वापसी में ये चाहिए. Use their spaces. Use their spaces effectively for basically a distribution of food and things like that. Managing them, their strategy is because they are going to be staying over there. They are the local influencers there. Keep them with you. Number two is ASHA workers. ASHA workers are extremely effective in on ground work. Number three, Anganwadi teachers. These are all people that you can use effectively. I would start with the religious leaders because they have this thing. If another thing is that local corporators. So for us, local corporators, we already have a presence in Hyderabad. I'm talking about. We have a presence in over 176 slums over here. So we have developed close rapport with the local corporators also. So these people are also effective, and get them in, not a problem. It is about their community. They should be taking care of that area. So get them in and make sure that, okay, what do they want? They want probably some pictures to be taken. Fine, so be it, as long as the food is reaching them. Sometimes they get a bit too pushy. They want we have also been saying, because none of our ration packs have been branded with Safa or Youth Feed India. None of them have a branding. So we've been very open. You want to put your sticker on it, put your sticker on it. So we've been that way, and we have taken it forward in that way. So this is how you can actually select onboard local community. Get in touch with them directly. Mayur, while there is a process to identify and verify CSO who can supply food, how is demand getting captured? Okay, so we are connected to the GHMC, which is the Municipal Corporation, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation helpline. It was formed 1 week after the lockdown, and then in that helpline, they have basically, they are getting in calls directly. It's a 4-number helpline, I think 19 something. And so we have listed ourselves as a service provider in that. Along with that, we are also part of a larger advocacy group. We have created an advocacy group. So again, we had to put up a helpline, a local helpline number. There are 3 people who are sitting and just managing calls. So believe me, one is the municipality helpline, which was created, that was advertised on TV and in newspapers and all. But more than that, we are getting calls on the advocacy helpline that we have set up. And again, on the advocacy helpline, we have the service providers listed there. Some people are providing only cooked food. Some people are providing only ration, dry food. So create two categories for it. Dry ration कौन supply कर पाता है और cooked food कौन supply करता है. So create these two categories, match them up. So in a day you will get up to 100 calls. Believe me, the demand is high. You will not be able to set up your processes. If you need any help, we will just share our Excel sheets with you, basic Excel sheets. And you can also do an analysis after a week, where is the supply coming from. Another thing that we did was we mapped areas. Okay, so if it is from the northern part of Hyderabad, there are a couple of, because it is the entire city is on the lockdown. So we could not transport food from east of the city going on to the north of the city or to the south of the city. So we mapped service providers to the calls which are coming in. So this is what you can do it, play it a bit smart. That's it. It's just a bit of planning which comes into place. So see, where are the maximum number of calls coming from? Maybe because you people are already on to legislative acts and rights and things like that. Maybe you can influence the local corporator. In the past 1 week, we have this data which has come in. Collect data. Data is very important. So tell them कि भाई ये एक हफ्ते में इतना हमारे calls आए ये area से. What is the government doing about it? Put up a ration shop over there. Make sure that the ration shop is more effective. This is how you can actually play around with the government, supplies coming in. Because we as CSOs, how much can we do? I mean, if you see an estimate in Telangana alone, they are estimating, nobody knows the numbers of the migrant population. That is something so scary. It's so scary. पता ही नहीं है numbers कितने हैं यहाँ पे. So this is what can be done. So this is supply and demand getting captured. How did you monitor the entire food distribution activity, especially when you're working with many stakeholders using technology apps? Okay, for volunteers, for volunteering, we enrolled a few volunteers, and for volunteering, we got in touch with local volunteer groups over here. There are forums, like if you see, there is a forum called Youngistan. There is a forum called Robin Hood Army. So you have to find online, you will have to find volunteering groups for your city. So don't start trying to create a volunteer group right now. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and also that, that trust factor being established and all. So just collaborate with local online, volunteering platforms. So you will find many in each city. If not, if you have been working in a particular slum, in a particular basti, then round up the youngsters over there, round up the youth over there, tell them, how can you help us to do this? It is their problem, make it their problem, and then you can do it. How you can monitor is, we have just used WhatsApp a lot. Also that volunteering app, which I will be sharing with Nainish. So it is a very effective volunteering app in which if we can create team leads. So if there is, say, one area, say Phulkar town. So in that, there is a food distribution going on. We create like a Facebook event on the volunteering app, and there is a team lead in that. The volunteers go down to that area, they conduct the food distribution, they click pictures, immediately they upload it on the app. The app even generates the reports for it. So we have started using that. It's a bit slow right now for us, but we are mainly using it for monitoring now. The app uses for volunteering as well as monitoring. So we are using that. Mainly, I think it's right now, it's a free platform. So I will share it with Nainish. So probably that would help you.
So maybe Rubina ji, we have the next speaker here. So maybe you can try responding to some of the queries. I think there is a query of coming from Bihar, and it's a collaborative of close to 56 NGOs. How can they continue their mission? So maybe, and there are other team members asking few questions. So if you can just respond to them.
Yeah,
we could move to Ravi. So welcome Ravi, Dr. Ravi Chandra, who's advisor to UNDP on livelihoods as well as value chain. So I think it's a good point moving from food to economic security. So Ravi एक entrepreneur रह चुके हैं at the core of his heart. has always been taking risks, trying out new ideas. So a new idea that Ravi has been piloting in UP, of which Tata Trust, CARE, CRS, Aided Action, and other organizations, including Indus Action, is a part of, is the Economic Reconstruction Alliance. So ये डेवलपमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का एक अलायंस है जिसका इनिशिएटिव रवि एंड यूएनडीपी ने लिया है. सो वी वेलकम डॉक्टर रवि चंद्रा. आपके कुछ इनसाइट्स की यूएनडीपी इस कोविड को खासकर रिकवरी और रेजिलियंस से कैसे देख रहा है, क्या इनिशिएटिव्स आप कर रहे हैं, एज वेल एज जो सोशो इम्पैक्ट, इकोनॉमिक इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट है, आप क्या चैलेंजेस देख रहे हैं लाइवलीहुड्स के जो आने वाले हैं, एंड हाउ आर वी प्रिपेयरिंग एंड फॉर इट, एंड आल्सो अलायंस इस चीज के अंदर कैसे कामगर हो सकते हैं, क्या आप थोड़ा सा अगर उसके बारे में शेयर करेंगे. हिंदी और इंग्लिश अगर मिक्स हो सके, और हिंदी ज्यादातर हो सके तो अच्छा रहेगा. और अगर सिमिलरली थोड़ा सा इस पे भी बात कर सकें कि कैसे जो इनिशिएटिव आपने लिया है इसको बाकी स्टेट्स में एम्पलीफाई किया जा सकता है. तो ओवर टू रवि. थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग अस.
थैंक यू नैनिश फॉर द काइंड इंट्रोडक्शन. तो आप सभी लोग का स्वागत है इस जूम मीटिंग में. आजकल काफ़ी जूम मीटिंग्स चल रहे हैं अलग अलग जगह पे. और तो मैंने एक छोटा सा पीपीटी बनाया. सो आई विल स्ट्रक्चर दिस जूम सेशन इन 2 ways. First, I will give a broad overview of Indian scenario on food aspects and the food supply chain kind of thing, और उसके क्या potential solutions हो सकते हैं. तो आजकल brainstorming काफ़ी चल रही है, तो एक PPT बनाया जो कि एक broad macro view देगा. And उसके बाद we'll come to the UP Alliance. So quickly, I will share my screen just to take you through the PPT. तो बेसिकली हम लोग समझ रहे हैं कि फार्म और रूरल इंडिया में काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोग रहते हैं, और फार्म सेक्टर से डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली मोस्ट ऑफ द इंडिया जुड़ा हुआ है, और ये सबसे बेसिक नीड है. तो पहला क्वेश्चन जो मैंने देखा सोचने के लिए, क्या हमारे पास फूड ग्रेन्स सफिशिएंट है. तो इंडिया के पास काफ़ी सफिशिएंट फूड ग्रेन्स हैं, बीट राइस, व्हीट, पल्सेस एक्सेट्रा. और अभी रबी का जो सीजन आने वाला जिसमें हार्वेस्टिंग एक्सपेक्टेड है, थोड़ा सा डिसरप्टेड होगा, बट क्वांटिटी अच्छी खासी आएगी. तो हमारे पास सफिशिएंट फूड ग्रेन है पूरे कंट्री को फीड करने के लिए फॉर ए मैक्सिमम फोर्सेबल टाइम. तो इस तरह से बेसिकली इशू फूड ग्रेन्स का नहीं है, बेसिकली इशू सप्लाई चेन और लॉजिस्टिक्स का है. बट वी हैव सफिशिएंट फूड एंड वी शैल ओवरकम दिस पीरियड. सो दैट इज द फर्स्ट मैसेज आई वांट टू गिव. द सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट कि जो फूड सिस्टम और जो लाइवलीहुड सिस्टम है, तो एक जो इशू आता है डिमांड का, लॉकडाउन के कारण डिमांड काफी इम्पैक्ट हुआ है. एग्री फार्म का सिस्टम है, सीड एक काफी बड़ा मतलब निकल के आ रहा है इनपुट्स के लिए कि खरीफ की सोइंग कैसी होगी, उसको काफी डिसरप्शन हो रहा है, प्लस मार्केटिंग नेटवर्क्स. तो डिमांड का जो बेसिकली पैटर्न देखा गया है कि लोगों ने पैनिक बाइंग तो करी है, सबने कोशिश किया जिसके पास जो रिसोर्सेस थे. और दूसरी बात कि जैसे जैसे मतलब लॉकडाउन स्टेबल होता गया, डिमांड घटता गया है, और ओवरऑल इकोनॉमी इज लुकिंग एट 20-30% रिडक्शन ऑफ टोटल डिमांड अक्रॉस द ईयर. अब ये इम्पैक्ट तो करेगा इकोनॉमी और एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी को काफी, बट वी हैव टू लाइक ट्राई टू मिटिगेट द डिस्ट्रक्शन इन डिमांड दैट इज हैपेंड ड्यू टू द लॉकडाउन. अब इसमें मैक्सिमम जो चीज है कि रूरल इकोनॉमी रिमिटेंस में काफी रही है. बिहार, यूपी, झारखंड, उड़ीसा, इन सब में रिमिटेंसेस काफी आते हैं. इनफॉर्मल इंडस्ट्रीज सिटी में क्लोज हो रही हैं, तो रूरल इनकम बंद हो रहे हैं. फार्म प्रोड्यूस जो मंडी की जो ट्रेडिंग होती थी, जिससे लोगों को मतलब पैसे का आदान प्रदान होता था, तो पहले तो बंद हुई, फिर उसके बाद खुली. अब काफी जगह स्टेबल होकर ऑपरेट कर रही है, बट उसमें भी लोगों की क्वांटिटी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड है. तो किस तरीके से एपीएमसी मंडीज और लोकल ग्रेन्स का जो वैल्यू रिलेशन होता है, उसको हम लोग किस तरीके से देख रहे हैं, वो काफी बड़ा इम्पैक्ट हुआ है इस लॉकडाउन के सिचुएशन में. एग्री सिस्टम में बेसिकली सारा लॉजिस्टिक्स डिस्टर्ब होने के कारण फूड ग्रेन्स का प्रोक्योरमेंट डिस्टर्ब हुआ है. गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी, एफसीआई, नाफेड, ये सब के द्वारा हार्वेस्ट का कलेक्शन प्राइवेट ट्रेडर्स को डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है. लोगों के पास लोकल लेबर्स मूवमेंट उतने रिस्ट्रिक्टिव है, अलाउड नहीं. अब पे अलाउ हो गए, पहले अलाउड नहीं थे. तो उस कारण वो भी इशू हो रहा है। प्लस ड्राइवर्स जो अपने अपने घर चले गए हैं तो दोबारा ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ट्रक्स को स्टार्ट करने के लिए काफी बड़ा इशू आ रहा है। तो इन सब चीजों के लेके काफी जगह व्हीट, ग्रेप्स, वाटरमेलन, बनाना, मस्कमेलन ये सब अपने अपने हार्वेस्ट एरिया पे मतलब इन द सेंस कि स्टॉक होके मतलब मार्केट में जा नहीं पा रहे हैं, रॉट हो रहे हैं या खराब हो रहे हैं। तो ये काफी बड़ा क्राइसिस हुआ है जिसको every stakeholder is trying to map out by easing the restrictions and trying, so food commodity is essential, तो restrictions ease हो गए हैं और मार्केट धीरे धीरे जैसा फीडबैक मिल रहा है थोड़ा थोड़ा स्ट्रीमलाइन होता जा रहा है। कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं प्राइस के क्रैश होने के कि जैसे व्हीट का प्राइस 2200 से 1600 पे आ गया, वेजिटेबल्स जो 15-20 रुपए थे। दीज आर आर होलसेल काइंड ऑफ थिंग, डोंट ट्राई टू पुट इट एट योर हाउस होल्ड काइंड ऑफ थिंग, रिटेल। So definitely the price crash has happened. So mostly the data figures are for the wholesale marketed. Milk में भी demand destruction हुआ है, ऑफिस के चाय पानी ये सब खत्म हुए, तो there has been demand destruction plus crashing of price। तो farmers का जो value relations है वो काफी impact हो गया है इस लॉकडाउन और कोविड के दौरान। सीड्स का सिचुएशन ये है कि हमें खरीफ के लिए करीब 250 लाख क्विंटल सीड्स चाहिए और सीड का सारा प्रिपरेशन मार्च से मई के बीच में होता है जो कि हमारा लॉकडाउन का पीरियड है। लेबर इश्यूज, सीड्स का इन्वेंट्री लॉसेस, रिजेक्शंस, मूवमेंट अगर सही टाइम पे पैकेजिंग वगैरह नहीं हुई तो काफी ज्यादा रेवेन्यू लॉस और इन्वेंट्री लॉस होगा। स्टॉक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स के पास अगर नहीं पहुंच पाए तो फार्मर्स के पास नहीं जा पाएंगे। तो एग्री इनपुट रिलेटेड जो फंक्शंस है वो काफी ज्यादा डिस्टर्ब हो चुके हैं और उसको मिटिगेट करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। तो इनपुट कॉस्ट बढ़ने का चांस है और चूंकि लॉकडाउन ईज हो रहे हैं सारे फैक्ट्रीज और सारे प्रोडक्शन सेंटर्स पे, तो उम्मीद है कि वी विल बी एबल टू मेक अप द टाइम, बट वो कैसे होगा दैट इज वी हैव टू सी। तो एक इमेज है जो बेसिकली दिखा रहा है कि सप्लाई चेन कहाँ कहाँ डिसरप्ट हुआ है। तो फार्मर से मार्केट का जो जहां जहां पॉइंट है वो सारा बेसिकली देयर हैज बीन बॉटलनेक्स और डिसरप्शंस। तो एफपीओ से कमीशन एजेंट की तरफ, ट्रेडर से कमीशन एजेंट की तरफ, कलेक्शन सेंटर से जो डायरेक्ट फार्म टू मार्केट रिटेलर की तरफ, होलसेलर से रिटेलर की तरफ, तो और होलसेलर से एक्सपोर्ट की तरफ, तो सारा सप्लाई चेन जो है जो क्रॉस मार्क किया बेसिकली जो पहले एक स्मूथ हुआ करता था वो अब डिस्टरप्ट हो गया है और अब इस डिस्टरप्शंस को दोबारा सही करने की कोशिश की जा रही है जिसमें कुछ समय लगेगा बट मार्केट शुड पिकअप। लोग काफी कोशिश कर रहे हैं पूरे इंडिया लेवल पे एज वेल स्टेट्स लेवल पे कि इसको स्ट्रीमलाइन किया जाए। कुछ गवर्नमेंट अनाउंसमेंट्स हैं जो कि आई विल नॉट मतलब गो डीप इनटू इट। पीएम किसान के, एमजी नरेगा के, आरबीआई के क्रॉप लोन्स के रिलेटेड चैलेंजेस जो देख रहे हैं फार्म लाइवलीहुड्स पे, जो ब्रॉडली देख रहे हैं कि हेल्थ एक्सपेंडिचर काफी ज्यादा बढ़ने वाला है जिसको कारण लोग वापस पॉवर्टी में जा सकते हैं, गरीबी में जा सकते हैं। रिटर्निंग माइग्रेंट्स वापस आ रहे हैं तो क्या सबको हम लाइवलीहुड अपॉर्चुनिटी कैसे दें? उनके पास अपने स्किल सेट्स थे अर्बन एरिया में बट क्या रूरल एरिया में रेलेवेंट है। एमएसएमई क्लोज हो रहे हैं, कैश फ्लो प्रॉब्लम्स, सप्लायर्स को पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं, बायर्स पैसा डिले कर रहे हैं, तो बॉटलनेक्स काफी जगह पे हैं। तो इसको किस तरह से मिटिगेट कर सकते हैं? तो इस पे कुछ जो सॉल्यूशंस हैं कि मतलब इन द सेंस कि दीज आर सजेशंस इन द सेंस बेस्ड ऑन द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ वर्किंग। अभी सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट मैकेनिज्म जो एक हम लोग जो देख रहे हैं रूरल इंडिया में ऑपरेट करते हैं वो कलेक्टिव्स का है। देयर आर लैक्स ऑफ कलेक्टिव्स प्रमोटेड अंडर डिफरेंट स्कीम, नाबार्ड, एफएसएसए, एनसीडीसी, NRLM, all those. So thousands and thousands of women cluster federations have been promoted and they can be an important medium to flow through the liquidity that government has already announced. So how do we try to strengthen them and try to move the cash through them? The announcement has already been done. So how this can be done? We can strengthen the government system to work on it and try to provide the as much as cash requirement through loans, etc. Village organizations can be one of the very good tool. Right now, India has lakhs of village organizations across country. So that can be one of the thing. One of the idea is that can the rural household be supported with MG Narega budget, the labor wages through SHG networks. We need to look at the farm-based local enterprises in inputs, poultry, eggs, processing, collection, etc. So local enterprises with the local demand. So that can be we can be looked at. One of the strengthening, one of the important is that how do we strengthen the farmer producer organizations network, the warehousing authorities. Right now one of the important tool is warehousing receipts which provides cash to the farmers. If the local storage in the house, in the community buildings, etc. can be allowed and can be accepted by government authorities, it can provide liquidity. We can, MFI is a big sector which is reaching to millions of families in India. can we see like a first loss guarantee kind of thing, which can be given to FPO sector also? That kind of systems can be developed. Then definitely input availability and different kind of logistics support, local marketing support, the district administration can be done. So these are in very broadly what we can do at the system level. Most of the suggestions and solutions are at the system level. They are various think tanks and bodies are trying to work it out in discussion with the government, local, state and central level. So these discussions are in place and it is taking place. So this was in very brief about the current farm livelihood scenario, which is impacting almost 70% of the population of India, and the effort that is going to mitigate it and the kind of system approach we can take and we are trying to take. So this was in very brief about that. And then coming to the one of the approaches of alliance that we tried to create in Uttar Pradesh. So this is specifically we are trying to create a alliance in Uttar Pradesh with all the international NGOs, donor organizations coming together, because they have a network of hundreds of civil society organizations working on grassroots, plus the volunteer network. So ActionAid, CARE, Oxfam, Water Resource Group of World Bank, Tata Trust, Microsave, Indus Action, HCL, etc. have come together to create alliance for economic recovery. This is beyond health response. One of the important thing is that if you work on the economic recovery, it will reduce the load on the health system. So that is the idea, that we like parallelly health and economic recovery should go parallelly. And how do we try to do at a state level? How do we try to facilitate our collaboration with government and the civil society system? This is an effort to it. So basically the idea is that we are like these 10-12 organizations are coming together, and mostly the civil society is working with the vulnerable communities. So most of the alliance is trying to focus on the how the volunteers can be reached and how the volunteer network can be activated. So one of the things that we have done or we are doing is the volunteer mapping, the community cadre mapping with the civil society organizations. So there are more than 20,000 community cadres associated with these organizations and their grassroots networks, which can reach around 10 million families and around in 50 districts of UP. UP has total 75 districts. And the best thing of the alliance is that this alliance is non-financial. It is bound by common objective. And it's basically every organization is independent to do and design their own COVID response based economic recovery. But joint programming and joint idea sharing, brainstorming on the best practices being done by different organizations, a learning platform, that kind of thing has been created. A forum has been created, and this forum can be a think tank kind of thing. It can support the government in the planning, in the implementation of the economic recovery process. So that has been the idea. So the basic thing is that the process or the overall overview is that we'll prepare, respond and recover. And the focus is totally the vulnerable community, mostly migrants, women, and all the poor communities. And partnership with the state is very critical. I think, yeah. So the value proposition, the alliance that is bringing is that access to thematic experts, community volunteers, information symmetry, analysis of all the schemes and communication, plus knowledge dissemination and other things. So this is an impact, this is an effort that we're trying to create, which will have some positive impact on the COVID response for the state of Uttar Pradesh. So it's a very small beginning. It is still in the process of crystallization, but it's an effort that we have taken to prepare for the COVID response in an institutional manner. So this is very in brief about both the topics. Now I am open for questions or discussions or the brainstorming points.
Right, Ravi. So there are some questions have started trickling in on the chat. So there's a question by Lakshit from Indus Action that agri-tech startups in India have made some strides in the past. Do you think that their technology can be leveraged, like NinjaCart, their technology can be leveraged to redefine supply chains and provide better price to farmers, given that this is going to be a very big challenge?
Actually, there has been a lot of discussion on the digital ecosystem and the digitalization of farm value chain. But the basic bottleneck that yesterday we had discussion with NCDX and other. So the basic bottleneck is logistics. On the online, they can contain the risk of price and settlement. That definitely the pricing is decided and settlement happen on a third-party platform. So that they can do. But how to move the grain from one place to another or the food items from one place to another? It's a more at a warehousing level where the stock out issues are happening. So at this level, most of the e-commerce partners are facing stockouts frequently, are not able to serve their customers based on the demand and based on the personal experiences that who are living in the urban areas. But they are being easily served by the kirana dukans or the corner stores that we call. So kirana dukan हमें supply कर पा रहा है, but the e-commerce stores are not able to supply. So that tells about the strength or the vulnerability of the system that the e-commerce and technology can solve, and which the kirana dukan with its transport arrangement work out with the local administration and the wholesaler, sub-wholesaler, kirana, CNF agent and the brand warehouse has worked out over last 3, 4 or hundreds of years. So definitely Ninja Cart, Big Basket, Grofers have their space in this whole like FMCG pie, but there are challenges which are yet to be solved, and that is due to the last mile connect. So how they will connect with the kirana store, that they need to work it out.
Ravi, so there is another question by Mayur that will this challenge that we are in lead to fundamental reforms in agriculture, meaning use and sales of agri land, relaxation on inputs like GM seeds, relaxation of output selling directly and through mandi? Yeah.
So the fundamental change like GM seeds etc. are very like sensitive issue. So on this I do not see anything like it is very debatable issue. But in the marketing side where I am more clued in kind of thing, so definitely it may lead to lot of easing of marketing restrictions has happened as a part of COVID response by the government, whether they have allowed the farmers to sell directly to anyone and not go through the mandi. So definitely direct marketing has been promoted, but APMC have their say due to the legal restrictions. Many states have abolished APMC Act. So this will facilitate in the sense the ability of farmer to sell directly to anyone. So through this crisis, definitely will move significantly in that direction.
So Ravi, there is another question coming again from Bihar. There is a alliance, Disha NGO alliances, which are 56 NGOs from 38 districts who have largely been given food ration kits as well as safety, security equipment to street rickshaw pullers and thela pullers, destitutes. So they are, you know, their funds are low and they are continuing on their mission. So what kind of advice would you have for them?
So like in any kind of alliance that people or the organizations come together, so the relief work is one of the things is that where you need unlimited amount of money and it has to be come through the community and volunteer support. Donor organizations mostly like the local CSR and other organizations are supporting. So one of the important thing is that to reach out to as many as local businessmen and local support, local well-wishers and people who are willing to donate for them. And the second thing is that like a lot of people are using the internet fundraising platform like Milap and Keto. So you should be active, take support of organizations who can support on Milap and Keto, plus the local issues. But right now, yeah. And third is that partnering in distribution, not on fundraising, but partnering in distribution to the NGOs. Like there may be network of NGO like ActionAid, Oxfam, etc. They may be distributed food. So how can you can partner with them in the distribution? So fundraising may or may not be resolved, but partnership with district administration, partnership with the organizations like donor organizations who are into the relief work, definitely that can help, and try to raise as much as fund through local channels plus the internet channel.
So maybe Rubina ji, you could also take this. Is there some scope for you to align with these set of NGOs in Bihar? What would you advise?
I think what Ravi ji has just said is we have used social media extremely effectively. So within your local areas, using the local resources is the answer over here, I feel. CSR partnerships, yes, will come in for us also. CSR, I mean, it is unimaginable, but some CSR funds up to 10 lakhs we got in 2 days. So Nainish, you know how much time it takes to get CSR funds. So for us, it has been very effective that way. Along with it, like I would say, is using digital media, use social media platforms. I'm sure you have a group. If you have, like what you're saying, 50, an alliance of 50 plus NGOs, then I mean, each one would have would be connected to at least 800 people on their social media. So look at the look at the numbers, look at the scale over here. Secondly, in terms of local community resources, also the moment you see a drive going on or a campaign going on, local community needs to be informed about it. I'm sure you have your WhatsApp groups and also create good communication around it. We have also been very successful in local, somebody has a rice mill or sorry, an atta mill, and they have just sent in atta to us, 6,000 kilograms of atta recently. They just said that this is with us and 2 mahine mein to ye kharab ho jayega. So they've just sent it to us. Same thing with menstrual hygiene, sanitary napkins hamare paas free aaye hain. There is Parle G approached us that we have biscuits, so would you like that? 4,000 packs of Parle G biscuits have just come in. So these are the kind of things that you can actually leverage. Even the smaller kirana merchants are doing it. So it's not that, you know, these big corporates only are doing it, but smaller kirana merchants will also get engaged with you. Another small resource I would like to share over here in terms of using technology is there is an app called Free Ration app, and use that effectively for distribution. In going to unreached areas, somebody had put up a question that unreached areas, we cannot be actually servicing that one small family which is about 20 kilometers away in terms of lockdown. So there is a Free Ration app which has been created. It's a technology person from Hyderabad only who has created it. So use that, it is very effective. It's called a Free Ration app. So just explore that. So these are things you can be doing.
So we have a flurry of questions, but I'm sorry we'll not be able to take, as our guest speakers also have to hop on to their work. Thank you, Rubina and Dr. Ravi, for taking this time and for sharing what you've been trying to envision and do in this crisis. Godspeed and all the strength and energy to you. Thank you so very much.
So thank you, Nanish, for giving such a platform. You can share my email ID, and anybody interested in farm and livelihoods can email me, and we can discuss one-to-one, and we can collaborate also.
Thank you, Nainish, and everybody over here. I see 72 participants. I think it is brilliant. I think we can get in a lot of change in India within the scope of whatever we can set out to do. And please feel free to reach out to me on my number will be shared with you all. And any good practices that we have established, we would like to share them with all of you. Thank you so much, Nainish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, we'll hop on to another link for our organization call at 10 a.m. Thank you, Ravi, and thank you, Rubina ji. Thanks.
Thank you.